I used to stay up late on Sunday nights because I was dreading work that much. I knew that as soon as I fell asleep, I'd have to wake up back to that 6 a.m. alarm and back plastering, which was what I was doing at the time, plastering in Derby. I'd wake up every day and be like, is this my life? I'd previously gone traveling. I'd seen the opportunities. I'd seen how good I felt within myself when I was traveling the world, but it always ran out of money and came back to reality. And those months plastering were brutal because I knew the life that I could live, and I was living a life where I was getting up 6 a.m, pissing rain in the UK, and I was having to plaster walls. And I managed to change that. I'm now living in Bali. My agency does 25k a month. And what I've realized is most people just get stuck in a 9 to 5, not because they don't have the drive or the motivation. It's simply because they don't know the best business model and they don't know how to actually monetize one single skill. There's so much online, but if you just provide a valuable skill, you can go very far and travel the world like I have, over 40 countries in the past 2 years. But it wasn't always like it is now. A few years ago, I was plastering in the UK and it was okay. The job was okay, but I thought, is this it? Is this literally my life of getting up at 6 a.m. every day, working for someone else, being told what to do, when to do it, having to ask my boss if I could have time off, being stuck in one place? I'd already traveled the world, so I knew what it felt like to have that excitement of hopping on a flight, going to a different country, meeting new people, experiencing new cultures. And I had all of that stripped away from me because I was stuck in one location. And I thought, is this it? Is this going to be my life for the next 30, 40, 50 years, working for someone else in a job that I just didn't enjoy? And I tried different stuff. I thought, oh, everyone working online is an influencer. So I tried making content. I tried crypto trading. I even looked into that. I even got to the point where I set up a US cleaning company. That's how desperate I was to escape the 9 to 5. I tried everything. And it wasn't until I actually took a step back and realized what at the bare basics is how you make money online. And that is by having a valuable skill. But even during this time when I was working my 9 to 5, I had so many doubts. I thought everyone working online had something special that I didn't. They had this natural gift that allowed them to work online and to travel the world. It seems like I'd look on Instagram and I just couldn't relate to those people. They just weren't me or what I thought I was. I thought, oh, you need to be ultra confident. Oh, you need to have a massive personal brand. Oh, you need to have something special that I just didn't have. I was just a normal guy. I still am a normal guy who was just plastering walls with a dream to work online. And it just felt like such a big step to start working online, and like unbelievable that people could live in Bali and travel the world as their job. And that's why when I looked online, everyone seemed to be influencers, which is why I started making travel content so I could become an influencer and get paid. And then I tried that and it was just so inconsistent. It was relying on external things like brand deals and just can I get paid from commission, whatever that was. It was just all external. One month I'd earn 2k and be like, yeah, I'm doing it. And then the next month I'd earn nothing. And then the month after that, nothing. Because it was all relying on other people. And I couldn't travel the world based off potential income that might come in. I wanted something consistent so I could live in places like Bali and actually travel the world and feel safe within the knowledge that I had money coming in every month. So I looked into trading. I thought, oh, trading, that is the one. Like, people make money trading. And then I realized it's very inconsistent as well, and you need a lot of money to put into trading, and it's very risky. And if the markets don't go your way, you can have months where you lose a lot of money. So that didn't fulfill me in the fact that I wanted something consistent. So then I saw an opportunity for a US cleaning company. One of my friends in the US said a lot of people making money with cleaning. But with that, it was just such a complicated model that I then had to try and build a team. I then was working in a different country. And it was just also very, very high startup costs of setting up this whole business. So that really, really struggled as well. So I got to this point where I'd tried 3 different things and all of them had failed. And then there was this big turning point. And this was Mexico around 3 years ago. I met this unassuming guy in the hostel called Sam, and I spoke to him and we were just chatting about traveling, and we managed to keep in touch. And 6 months later, after meeting him in the hostel, we were still chatting, and he was saying, oh, he was now working online. He set up his own agency, and he was literally like an 18, 19-year-old in that hostel at the time. And within 6 months, he was earning online through a thing called an agency. And I was like, mate, what is an agency? Like, how can I build one? Because I was so desperate at this point. And he told me it was simply, he had a service, which was SEO, search engine optimization. He found businesses that had that problem, and he simply sold his service. And I thought, that sounds a lot more simple, and it sounds a lot more consistent than all the other things that I've heard online. And I was like, how do you get paid? And he's like, oh, I get paid monthly by these companies. I've got them on 6-month contracts. And I was like, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted that opportunity to have a monthly income, but online from anywhere, and also something that I could build up. And because I'd posted on social media as an influencer, I realized that I'd built up a skill that, I can grow a social media page. Why can't I help other businesses do this? And this was just a skill that I taught myself. I've seen other people just, I'm going to learn email marketing. They learn it and then sell that as a service. Or I'm going to learn AI automation and I'm going to learn that and sell that as a service. And in its essence, this is something that will last years and years, I thought, because if I have that skill set, and as long as it's always valuable and I keep improving on that, I can keep finding businesses with those problems. So for me, I could help with social media, and these businesses weren't posting on social media, or they couldn't get views on social media, or they weren't generating sales on social media. So I thought, I can help these. And this could be my path to building an online income. And this is where I took action. It wasn't about trying different business models and looking where the grass was greener. Now I had a model which I knew worked because of my friend Sam. And I thought, let's go for it. So what I did was just focus on that one skill that I had, social media. And I was nervous, I felt imposter syndrome, but I just DM'd as many people as I could, as many businesses as I could. I tried to get them on sales calls. And on those sales calls, I was scared shitless, I didn't know what to say. But eventually, just through brute force of really trying, I signed my first ever client. And getting that payment through, it was just £500 a month, and I was doing a lot of work. I oversold myself. But getting that first payment of £500, that was like nearly a week's wages plastering, to just online, that shifted my whole mentality. That, oh my God, I can do this. And it shifted my mentality so much that I had got this client while I was a plasterer, and I thought, there's something in this. So I said, I'm going to plaster for 1 more month, and then I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit, keep pushing this agency and see where it gets to. And it was the same thing. It was simple. I just had to keep doing the outreach, keep finding businesses with the problem that I could solve. And I started booking more sales calls. I didn't close every one, but I still had that excitement of that first £500 online. And I got to the point where before I left, as I left plastering, I was earning around $2,000 a month through my agency, simply 2 different clients. So I flew out to Bangkok, and this was the start of my journey. And that really gave me that push that if I didn't make this work, I was going home back to my job plastering. And within 90 days, I got my agency up to $5,000 a month. And this had replaced my plastering monthly income, and I was living in Bali at the time. And this was where I just thought, I've made it. This is all I ever wanted in life. I wanted that freedom. It wasn't about these 25K months. It was about that freedom. It was about that initial, I can choose what I do with my day. I can choose where I live. I can choose who I spend my time with. I can grab a coffee at 11. I can go to the gym at 2. I could choose what I was doing with my day. And that feeling, if you could bottle it up, you'd sell it for a lot of money. It was unbelievable. And that's where you see the opportunity. Now this hasn't just become a 5K a month business. I have scaled it up to multi six figures a year. So I'm earning 5-10 times more than I was as a plasterer sitting in Bali on my laptop. And it's not about the money, it's about the freedom that that gives me, that if I wanted to fly to a different country today, I could. And that led for me having people ask me, Joe, how did you do it? You were literally a plasterer. How do you now own an online business? And having spoke to a lot of these people who were in the same position as me, they felt stuck, they felt lost, and they tried multiple business models and nothing kind of clicked with them. I realized that people in 9-to-5s who want to live this life, they're not lazy. It's not the lack of motivation to change their life. They really have that. A lot of it is just down to they can't see a path there. And it was similar with me. I thought these people were special. I thought they just had something that I didn't have. And it wasn't until I met Sam, it wasn't until I got a mentor, Louis, that I saw people earning 10-15K a month online, doing something they loved and had that freedom. And that is where I started to help other people. I've now helped over 30 9-to-5ers build an online income and travel the world. We've got people like Tom, who was working a 9-to-5 in London. He's now living out in Bali full time. We've got people like Jay, who's in his 40s, working in recruitment, and he wanted to change his life. And now he's signed multiple clients. He's now living out in Portugal and he's flying to Bali in the next few weeks. We've got people like Johnny, he was working FIFO in Australia and he just hated the 12-hour days. He's now built an AI agency and now is living in Perth with that complete freedom. And these were people just like you and me. They were stuck in a job that they thought there was no way out. But by having a simple pathway to get there, they then realized, if I put in the work, I can build this life. These people aren't special. These people don't have something that I don't have. They've simply followed a simple business model, they've got a path, and they've taken action. So if you feel like you're just surviving rather than living, you feel like you're stuck in a job that you don't enjoy and in a life that you don't enjoy, and you want that freedom, you want to travel the world, I promise you, I've been there. I was there a few years ago, and I know the path to get out. Because I've not just done it for me, I've done it for over 30 other people now. So if you want the complete free training of how to go from starting out all the way to building a 5 to 10K a month agency, and more important, a life of freedom, check the links in the description and you can get that free training, and I'll also put the link in the top here. But that will give you everything you need to build this life of freedom. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to message me on Instagram, Joe Martin Travel. And if you're interested in our program where we guarantee that you hit 3 to 5K a month within 6 months with your agency, we guarantee this. Look in the link in the description and you can book in a call with us, and we'll just roadmap your specific situation and how you can go from where you are to building this income and also go through the program, and even if we can help you. So yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and don't give up. You can honestly change your life.